Ready, kids?
Aye, Captain!
I can't hear you!
Ahoy there, mateys. It's time to set sail on a special edition of Unconstitutional Awakening, the podcast. Avashi is today, we're showing you guys a very fantabulous Christmas special that we filmed to, do some things, talk some things about Christmas and mysteries around it and conspiracies around it and myths and occult stuff and just all the good kind of weird things that go along with this holiday. And I figured since we're keen on doing some fun things around here that it'd be fun to have a Christmas special. So I invited my friends, Canadian John, Nate from Reality Czars, and Voila-Me to come and join us for this conversation. This is going to be some good fun stuff. I really have been looking forward to this. Figured you guys would enjoy it too, because, I don't think there's that many Christmas podcast specials going on. So I figured I'd hop on it and be the first one to do it. We always have a lot of good fun around here with a lot of different things. We did some cool stuff back in Halloween for you guys with, all the costumes and having all the extra spooky stuff going on. It's you don't want to be a one-hit wonder. You don't want to be just the same old drab, boring nonsense every single day. And that's why we have so much variety over here on this show. Because, I think that there needs to be variety because there's so many weird things going on in the world that we don't quite understand, yet so much of it is totally tied back together. And Christmas is definitely one of those things. It's celebrated worldwide in different cultures, different ways, different beliefs and stuff like that. And we're going to kind of touch on that a little bit tonight with a bunch of different, little things here and there talking about it. I think this is going to be a really fantabulous conversation. So, and of course, anything that we do discuss tonight, you guys, I am great about trying to get you those links where you can find everything to go with those links and stuff like that back at your favorite website on the internet right now, unconstitutionalawakening.com, your home for everything Unconstitutional Awakening. We've got things from our podcasts and stuff that all the hosts are doing and ways to get back to all the hosts via their social medias and such, as well as the links to get back to Rumble, Odyssey, and BitChute. That way you guys can watch these fantabulous episodes of the show. Yeah, we do occasionally throw episodes up on YouTube like this one, so we appreciate you guys over there watching too as well. And everybody that's out there listening all over the world and all of the streaming apps that we're on, because I'll tell you what, if you can stream it, we're totally there. So just give a search for Unconstitutional Awakening, the podcast, and see what pops up, because I keep finding us in more and more places every day. While you're on the website, you can also just listen to the show right there. I've done a good job of hooking that up there. There's also our fantabulous merch store where you can get you some sweet UA merch, all different kinds of stuff. I've been seeing folks buy stuff up for Christmas, so that's been great. I hope whoever gets that kind of stuff for Christmas enjoys it, and we appreciate it greatly. As well as checking out our friends in Liberty, Kirk Elliott, Peachy Key Creations, Ammo Can Survival, Brett Pike with Classical Learner, and our newest sponsor / friends in Liberty, Pure Pet Wellness, who are making CBD products for animals. All this stuff is great, and you can find links to it in this episode and over there on unconstitutionalawakening.com. So, we do appreciate all that good kind of stuff, man. And I'm sure everybody else is doing it, appreciates it too. I can't thank you guys enough. And that's what made me think that it would be great to give you guys a Christmas episode. So I guess without further ado, let's hop on into this and get going. Good evening, everybody. Of course, as you know, I said we're having this Christmas extravaganza, and I have some absolute great past guests coming back to join me for this episode because partially this was a little bit of Voila-Me's idea and some conversation we were having. So Voila-Me's here this evening, and we brought my good buddy Nate from Reality Czars over there. Nate, I got to give you props,
Yes.
man. You introduced me to just because of knowing you, man, and just linking with you on Instagram. You've introduced me to so many amazing people I've had on the show over here, man, since then. And like I gotta credit you to being the like founder of that little podcast family that we kind of got going on over there on Instagram, dude. Like you're pretty awesome in that aspect of it. I appreciate that. Just wanted to let you know, man.
Thanks, brother. You're part of my podcast family too.
Love it, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Love it. Love it. And I got my buddy John up there from Canada over here. How you been up there, man? I've missed you. I ain't seen you in a little while.
We're holding it down up here. Busy. Trying to keep things growing on social media front. Trying to coach some kids hockey and stay out of the hospital. Unfortunately, was unable to do that last Monday night. Got 4 fresh stitches here. They say they're dissolvable, Jim Bob, but they don't feel too dissolvable, and they're feeling pretty stuck in there. So there's going to be a night with tweezers coming up here over the holidays.
They listen. They tricked me with the dissolvable
Yeah.
before when they put part of the 19 in the front of my face inside my nose. They were like, the ones in there are dissolvable, till they had to strap me down and clip them out, and like
Ah,
that was not fun. So like there's definitely something to say about some of that stuff for sure. I don't know. I'm a super glue guy. I work out in the field a lot, and you never know what you might cut open, and you're just like, oh, you know what? Tape, glue. All right, let's keep going.
That's why super glue. That was the original use for super glue.
no shit.
Teeth. My friend did it.
Teeth and closing small wounds.
No, crazy.
That was the original purpose for it.
my friend
Crazy glue.
fell
Crazy
in-
glue, not super glue. Crazy glue.
My friend
Yeah,
fell into
that
a
was it.
table. His tooth just flew off. He was high as hell. He took his tooth
Oh my god.
with the super glue because they asked the dentist. They were like, "Ram that in there." It worked.
So,
He did the right thing.
And of course, I've got, as you guys can hear, I've got Luis and Bandit on here with me this evening. I am so thankful you guys joined me for our Christmas special. I figured there wasn't too many folks letting out a Christmas Day episode, and I figured I'd jump on that bandwagon because why not? Like, let's have some fun with it and talk about Christmas. And that was kind of what I invited you guys to talk about here tonight, is because it turns out that the entire world doesn't get visited by Santa Claus. Oh, what a surprise, right? Why? But officially there's holidays in that time of year throughout the year, whether it be like Hanukkah and Kwanzaa, of course, and Christmas, of course, as well. But there's been holidays for centuries, and I mean just tons of years in different places of the world that revolve around this kind of year, whether it be pagan holidays, whether it be Indian holidays, whether it be like the south, the what is it, the southwest region of Asia and stuff too, with some of these holidays and stuff. There's all these crazy different aspects of it, even some really cool stuff up in like Russia and stuff like that. And it's all over the place. You see kind of a lot of the same stuff in the occult world, as well as a bunch of crazy myths and different places that are actually like true on history, that a lot of things that we celebrate today actually revolve around. So like I figured it'd be cool to chat Christmas with you guys. I don't know who celebrates what, who doesn't celebrate anything, and how things are carried on. I mean, we do I guess a classic Christmas down here in the area that I am, family and a tree and stuff for my kids. Cause I do enjoy the time of year doing stuff like that. I didn't get the full-fledged memories, I guess, like a lot of people did. And I wanted to make sure my kids did. And we just have different outlooks on a lot of the things on the way we do it. We don't go along really with the whole Santa Claus idea. So, but
I was going to ask, Santa Claus or no Santa Claus?
No
So-
Santa Claus.
So for a little bit, we talked about it, but when my oldest is just too smart for it, and she's only 9 now, but she was just like, at one point in time, she was asking the tough questions already, and it's just like, wait, you're too young to be asking these tough questions. And you know, I was like, you know what? No, you're not. I've raised you this way, and I can't bullshit you anymore. Like, yes, that's how it's run down, and like, don't ruin it for other little kids that might still believe though. Like, that's their choice. That's their prerogative. That's their family and stuff. Like, I don't judge people for what they celebrate or how they celebrate it. Like,
You know, it's the way we raise our kids, man. We raise little anarchists because that's what we are. And I think my son was 6, and he came up to me and he was like, "Dad, it just doesn't make sense." And he goes, "I don't know about this, but if you tell me Santa's real, I'll believe it. I'll believe you." And I was like, "God damn, I'm not gonna." I was like, "Okay, Santa's not real."
Well, I don't want to take away from like the whole like traditional parts of it. I mean, there's still going to be good food, family time, maybe some type of decorations. There will be some gift giving, but the whole like Christmas thing and Santa Claus thing that surrounds it is just not there anymore for us. All the aspects, all the good aspects of it is what we participate in.
same here. Yeah, I can understand that. Yeah,
I don't want it to seem like to people. I don't want to make people think that like these guys where I just don't like do anything at all during the holiday season like that. But it's just the whole, thousands of dollars. I mean, I have seen people like thousands of dollars of presents and an entire month's worth of electricity bill in just one night for lights, and just it takes 2 weeks to decorate your house inside and out. That's just not for us.
fair.
I agree. I don't dress the house.
I think I decorate more for St. Patrick's Day than I do Christmas.
Yeah, I'm more of a Halloween man.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like you said, being around the family, spending time with people, having a little break, recouping is the best part about that. This time of the year, you get to see people you haven't seen, eat some good food, but I can't believe in Santa Claus because Santa Claus don't come to the hood. I'm sorry.
It's one of those things, man.
You don't have that many chimneys available.
Yeah. Dude, I worked at this really fancy club. I'm a chef by trade, and I was working at this really exclusive private club. And I don't know, maybe the guy that played Santa died or something, some old man, and they were looking like desperately for someone to play Santa Claus, and they're like, "We're dressing you up." And so they took me to like a professional place, and they made me Santa Claus, which I think I was the first Mexican Santa that any of these little white kids were going to sit on their lap, And dude, it was fucking magical, actually. Like these little kids, like, and this lady that was like dressing me up, putting the makeup on, putting all the, she fucking smacked me in the face, and she was like, "Look, for the next hour or 2 hours, whatever it is, you are Santa Claus." All of those kids, they're like their hopes, they're like all their belief, all that faith, that shit is on you right now. And I was like, God damn it, you're right. Like, I can't like slip out of character. I can't be nervous. I have to be Santa. Dude, it was intense as fuck.
I can imagine.
Really cool though. Holy shit, all these kids, like their eyes lit up. I was fucking Santa Claus. It was fucking wild, man. Well, and then my son was about 3 years old. And so before I took the costume back, I went home and I was Santa Claus for my 3-year-old. And this is why it was such like an intense thing for my son, because he was like, I met Santa Claus, but it doesn't make sense. And then I had to explain to him that I was Santa Claus later. It was me in the costume.
So Daddy got a second job. He out here delivering gifts.
And I think that's some of where like me and my wife looked about it as why I guess put that idea of that lie in their head, and I'm not on top of that. Why is it okay for like Santa to watch you and stuff, but not the government? Like that was one of my questions that my daughter asked, and I was just like, damn it. I was like, this is kind of where you got me cornered because like you're right. Like, I don't approve of any of that. And I was like, and you shouldn't accept anybody trying to pay attention to what you're doing in the privacy of your own space like that. You know what I'm saying?
Santa
Like,
sounds like the Chinese Communist Party.
and so we just so I broke it to him that way. But there is a lot of other things, I guess, out of that. You guys were talking about the camaraderie and the family and just people coming together and stuff, and that's something that I think I can find a lot through history, whether it's the Yule lads in Iceland, the cemetery celebrations in Finland, the celebrations on the beach in Australia, the KFC dinner in Japan, because that's a national tradition there.
Chinese food in San Francisco.
Yeah, Chinese food in San Francisco. There's all these different.
The Jewish people eat Chinese.
There's all these different cultural things that people do and things that kind of keep the world moving. And
they had to go eat Chinese in the movie Christmas Story.
Yeah, but at the down here in the South, like you want to be real, down here in the South, we go to Waffle House on Christmas Day because it's the only thing that's open.
Jeez.
And like that when you've been day drunk most of the day from doing Christmas stuff, Waffle House hits good. So
fucking fried chicken and a waffle. Yeah.
But that part out of it, you can kind of go through all these different countries and all these different cultures' history, and you can see that there's a lot of, during these winter months, we almost hibernated. We almost all came in together and took all of the stuff that we worked all summer to preserve and save up, and we would spend these months celebrating with each other and maybe, trading things with each other. And that's where I think a lot of these traditions come from. And then other things started getting mixed into it. I'm not here to deny anybody anything, but like, if you historically look at things, I don't believe that Jesus was born on Christmas Day. Like,
fuck you.
Yeah,
fuck you.
That was obvious. I mean, that was obvious to anybody that studied for more than 5 minutes.
Wait, isn't
JC's birthday?
Isn't Santa Claus Jesus? I always thought Santa was. I thought it was the same.
How does it go up there in Canada? Do you guys?
Tell us.
Do you guys like?
I'm interested in hearing this, man, because
I know you guys got reindeer running rampant out there, so you guys are probably getting drunk off some moose liquor or something, right? Like,
it's not moose. No, moose liquor. You know what?
Moose liquor.
It comes from the bottom.
We celebrate our capitalistic vessel for materialistic oppression annually up here as well. We love it. We buy stuff we don't need right before tax season so that we're fucking broke when the government comes asking, and then we got to go into debt to keep that cycle going. And I love Christmas, as you can tell. But
it sounds like it.
Very much so.
I will say, I dig the vibe. We just got Nana in the door. We secured the package. Nana from London, Ontario is here. She's 90. She's blind. She can barely move. But that's what it's all about. You know what I'm saying? So we get to spend some time with her. She can berate my mother and sister and treat me like the golden child that I am. And that's what we do. And
but I mean, that aspect of it, you getting to see Nana, and somebody that is of that age, I'm sure she's got many stories of Christmas past and stuff like that, even if it's only something that she keeps to her head. And that, I guess, is, I think to me, that's kind of an important aspect, the ability to have these memories with family. You know what I mean? Like that in itself means a lot to me, like no matter what situation is, truthfully.
And Jim Bob, I do want to just add, I think a lot of you guys were kind of hitting on the same thing, and we talk about what's the best way to approach your kids and all this stuff with the Santa Claus conundrum. And I'll tell you, Jim Bob, you kind of said earlier, like, oh, why, I don't get why they, try and push the Santa thing. It's to train you to believe in something that's completely preposterous. And honestly, I remember this is a character memory. I remember I'm sitting there in the car about 9 or 10. I go, Mom, is Santa real? She looks at me. She goes, you know what? No, it's not real. I go, what about God? Huge long pause, right? And then she was like, yeah, no, he's real. And I'm like, oh, okay. That's kind of weird, right? And I think that was the moment that my rebelliousness and maybe my logical intellect kicked in, and life's been real blissful.
So Nate, Nate, I kind of want to circle back around to you there, bud, because you did jump the gun on me there a few minutes ago when I made the comment about it being, not truthfully being that birthday, and then the only reason I say that is because when you look at a lot of the historical aspects of where it was laying around, I'm one of those guys that'll be like, well, he was totally born in like September sometime. It might have took them till December to get to him. But like I truly am, I kind of think he was born in more of a fall time of year.
That's interesting.
In the middle of December.
I did some sort of digging, and someone was saying that he was born in spring. It was something about with the new lambs and things, but I have no idea.
I've also seen
he was clearly
April.
Not born in.
I've also seen around April. So
April,
or July.
But he
April to
clearly
July
wasn't born
could
in
have been the
December,
time frame too.
I was having a conversation.
Sorry to interrupt. I just quick question.
Yeah.
Is it not based on like solar calendars? Is December 24th not? Isn't that just what it's based on?
It's based off the solstice, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I was having a conversation with my son earlier, and he was talking to me. He's like, "Well, what are you guys talking about tonight?" I said we're going to talk about Saturnalia. Maybe we're going to talk about the winter solstice. We're going to talk about this and that. And he was like, "Well, what the fuck is that?" And I was like, "Well, it's the shortest day of the year, basically, right?
Yep.
It's like the most winter. I mean, it's the fucking And we had this conversation, and it was like, you have to understand that it was like at this time, before we had electricity, before we had heaters and shit, it was like, this is the coldest fucking day of the year. It's like the shortest day of the year. It's dark as fuck. And he was like, well, why would you celebrate that? And I was kind of like, it's an interesting question, but it's kind of like he made it.
Yeah.
Because winter fucking kills people. Like, people are afraid of like climate change. They're afraid of global warming. Like,
most people die from cold.
Global cooling. Yeah. That's way fucking scarier.
Yeah.
Way fucking scarier. Winter is a motherfucker.
I have experienced early stages of frostbite in my hands when I lived in Buffalo, New York, of all places. Actually, we were in below freezing temperatures, and I was not in proper attire, and the way
you don't say.
The way
a southerner.
Listen, I was layered up good. I was good at working on the corner, but
I was thinking basketball shorts and a pirate hat.
That's what I wear. That's what I wear now. Yes, but
it was probably flip flops, a tank top, and basketball shorts.
And I had to wear fingerless gloves dealing with cash.
Exactly. I knew shitty gloves.
Yep. Yeah. And because I was wearing fingerless gloves, because I dealt with cash in the gas station job that I had working outside, because you have to pump people's gas up there because they're not smart enough to pump their own or something. And like,
is this New Jersey?
Buffalo, New York.
Okay.
And like I remember my boss making me like go sit down in the like store behind our store, because he was like, dude, he's like, you're experiencing first stages and stuff. He's like, that's why your fingers are turning blue, because all the blood's rushing away from your hands. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I'm going away now, and I can't recommend that to anybody. Like that like cold. That's why I got back down here into the South. And yes, you're right. Wait. I'm totally in shorts and cowboy boots, and I happen to be in this hat today because I would rather sweat to death than have to deal with the cold anymore. Like,
John, what the fuck was that? How many layers is that for?
Even got my Christmas.
Johnny, you're on mute, buddy.
You're on mute, John.
I remember staying in the mountains, and it got so cold up there that we were just fighting each other with icicles.
Johnny, you're muted. You're muted.
Denver was not fun when it was cold either for me. Like,
they don't know how to drive down there, boy.
No.
So when you get really cold and get to the point where you're so cold, when you dip your fingers into hot water, you don't feel it. How bad is that?
That's bad.
That's like stage one. That's like walking home from the store on a Tuesday up here. You
don't even live in Winnipeg. I would get
hey,
Winnipeg. That's hell. That's a hellscape.
Bro, Winnipeg's
worst-
bad. Ottawa is very bad. It's a dry cold. Like around here and where I am now, we're right on Lake Huron, so it's just shit ton of snow, but it's not that cold. Ottawa, you're getting that wind, 40 degrees, negative 40 in the morning. You walk outside and it feels like someone's literally slapping you in the face.
Damn.
Yeah,
Dude, I
no.
hate the cold, man. That's what keeps me out of New Hampshire. I want to go to fucking New Hampshire, join the Free State Project, but fuck that.
Yeah, I'm not trying
I mean,
to
It's a lot to
bring it
ask. It makes those fucking mornings just that much shittier. I won't
Yeah.
lie.
believe it
does
or
kill
not,
bacteria though. It does kill weird shit like the Zika virus. I don't know. That never made it up here. So
I don't know, dude. It
'Cause you
doesn't
don't
get
have
rid of fucking
mosquitoes.
ticks somehow. Like New Hampshire's still full of ticks and Lyme disease.
true.
It's like it
Yeah.
doesn't get fucking cold enough.
But right
The-
now we're good. Yeah, but you're right. There's tick problems. My dog got one in his fucking head just before the end of
Hey.
it. Yep.
Yeah, no. I mean, but but the cold does have its pluses. You know, me and Bandit talk about that because he knows I'm not a fan of the cold, and he likes to
it's
point out to
not.
me
It's
that-
not the cold that's so bad. It's like I could deal with the cold without snow.
But you're Sub-Zero though.
You know.
I'm gonna get also like next week. It should get really bad, and the best part is I'm not gonna be around my house, so it's gonna be even worse when I get calls of people complaining about something.
Yeah, I could deal with 40 below with no snow, no problem.
Yeah.
It's snow
Wait,
that
40
causes all
below
the.
with wind or without wind?
I don't give a shit about wind. It's just the snow. The worst winter
For me, it's
I
ice.
ever experienced was, believe it or not, I was stationed down in Fort Bliss, Texas, down in El Paso, Texas, and we got 1 inch of snow in El Paso, Texas. It was the apocalypse.
Yeah.
Walmarts were cleared out. There were accidents piled up in between the interstate. People were flipping their cars. It was over 1 inch of snow in El Paso, Texas.
Yeah, this sounds like Georgia.
It
Yeah.
happens. That's what happens in places where it doesn't normally fucking snow. Because I'm up here in Portland, Oregon, and it doesn't normally snow here. We might get a little bit of fucking. We might get 2 inches.
But you're in the
maybe.
region.
Once a fucking year. Once a year, we'll have a snow day, maybe. But
Yeah.
we had like a fucking winter like a few years ago. People just started abandoning their cars on the highway.
Yep.
People didn't know what the fuck to do. There was like
Yeah, we had
there was
that
like
one year, too.
piles of hundreds of cars
Yeah.
on the fucking highway. 'Cause
The
people were
general
freaking the
public
fuck out.
is so stupid in large groups.
Man.
Oh, my
Individually, maybe they're okay, but in a large group, the general public in large groups are mentally retarded.
Imagine
Yeah,
if we
I-
had reindeers that could fly. How many would crash?
Imagine flying cars right now.
Shit.
They would be fully automated.
Shit. That's what I'm talking about, man. Yeah, that's
The-
exactly what
the
I would say.
only way we're
Shit,
ever
man.
gonna get anything close to flying cars is full automation.
So
Nothing close to that.
so
I can't.
you're gonna go circle back around again.
Reindeer.
No.
It's all right.
You know, a few minutes ago, Nate, you had made mention of the Saturn thing, you know, and I actually know a lot of reference on what you're kind of talking to, you know. Kris Kringle and Saint Nick are truly just different forms of Saturn. You know, Saturn is old man. Saturn is
yeah.
old man winter. He
Yep.
was the night while Santa, you know, is at the North Pole, stuff like that. Like it's all kind of based off of Saturn and astrology in different ways, and it was interpreted in different forms, and that from like a pagan aspect, really, if that's what people call it, or pagan, or astrological aspect, or even the over in India and stuff like that. You know, they celebrate things like this because of the way that they do some of their celebrations and with astrology and such. So can you tell us a little bit more about that, or what do you happen to know about that? That's actually something I'm pretty familiar with.
I don't know a hell of a lot. I have Christian blinders on me. I was raised so fucking Christian that everything
So was I.
pagan was literally
It's all right.
satanic. So that I'm learning this shit now,
Yeah.
but I'm definitely not an expert on anything pagan because like I wasn't allowed to know this shit.
Fair.
I
fair.
was
It's
gonna
the
get a
same
demon.
way.
I was
I
going to
grew up
become
the same way.
possessed. Yeah.
I totally
A lot-
understand where you're coming from, man.
Yeah.
I grew up my
I love
entire life.
exploring it now. It's
Christianity
a lot of
crammed down
fun.
my throat, especially on holidays. Psh,
Oh man.
Well,
Man.
somehow,
Catholic Christianity.
somehow they
All
took
the guilt.
because of Saturn being the prominent in the sky during the winter solstice, which happens to be which actually
Well,
happens
yeah,
to be
there's
on the
that
20
theory,
it was the
right?
20 it was the 21st of this year, that about Saturn being the thing that they found visible or whatever
The
during that
most
shortest
prominent
day.
actual like astrological thing in the sky.
And
It
it
was
was the
almost like a sun. It was
correct.
almost like a sun to us.
Yep.
And honestly, like what they say, some people say at least that like what we consider sun worship was actual Saturn worship. Like we consider that the sun.
So there, that Saturn, I guess, naturally in the astrological type looking at things is the adversary of the sun. Like it's the natural adversary of the sun. So where you're talking about how there's kind of that inverted thing, funny or not, this is going to tie back into other people kind of trying to pervert things and these laws of inversion being practiced that we've talked to in the past about I've talked about in the past with like Frankus and stuff, just on an opposite thing. But yes, there were people that did worship the sun, and then there were people that worship Saturn, and they have somehow
Look at that
taken
fucking coke nail,
they've
man.
they've
I'm looking at that big old fucking nail of yours. on your
they've
pinky.
somehow taken they've somehow taken the ability to do the Saturn worship and make everybody like practice the Saturn worship instead of actually practice the sun worship, which that's a whole conversation in itself.
Yeah, it's
because
fascinating, man.
The Christian kind of look on it, we're looking on an outside perspective from where I am on that. I've always seen where Christians they worship the sun, Jesus, you know what I'm saying? But believe it or not, like that also comes into breaking of people that worship the sun, like the sun.
Yeah.
And,
No, absolutely. There's definitely that connection. And so what I've heard basically is there's this story, and this is take it as you will. But they say that Saturn was probably the most prominent thing in our astrological world. It was closer to us somehow. And when they talk about like Saturn, like you hear that backstory, how he ate his children, how he was like banished from. It was almost like there was an astrological thing that happened, and so they told these stories about something that actually happened, and so like something fucking happened, and Saturn moved far away from us.
I mean,
right? And they talked to that, and that was like the banishment of like Saturn, and that what we talk about sun worship, like if you're going back to like the Babylon, any of those mystery schools talking about sun worship, it was actually Saturn is what we were worshiping. That was our sun. And we are confusing it now. I don't know that to be a fact, but that's an interesting theory that I've read and heard. And yeah, man, I don't know. There's some weird shit to Saturn worship. But also,
Saturnalia was held in mid-December as an ancient Roman pagan festival honoring the Saturn, the god Saturn or the planet Saturn. They kind of align those as the same things. And that kind of, there's some funny little things that come out of there that we still practice today, like wreaths and candles and gift giving and feasting and stuff like that. And these are also things that you can kind of find in other cultures and other religions, whether or not it's the same God as we would see or you would see or stuff like that. There's these other places that do totally practice the exact same thing. They just call it something entirely different.
What's interesting, dude, too, though, is like the Christian God the Father. There is a lot of connections to him being, so Yahweh being Saturn as well, being Kronos, being the god of time and judgment. So the old God of the Bible, they probably were also Saturn worshippers. So the Hebrews, which is interesting.
Yeah, no,
Yep.
There's
No
some truth
fact.
to that.
And they also used to do rituals on that day too.
You know,
Sacrifice.
Voila-Me, I
Uh-huh.
wanted to kind of jump over there to you because you sent me a couple cool, interesting videos here to go along with this that was talking about kind of like Christmas and esoteric type stuff. Which one of those did you want me to throw up first, bro?
The one with Jim Carrey in it. He explained where the Santa Claus comes from.
Gladly.
Oh yeah, he was woke. They had him on a TV interview, and he was speaking about how Santa Claus is actually a part of you. You'll understand after you click the clip.
Yeah, I'm trying to make it bigger on my screen. I apologize.
Oh no, I think it should be the first link.
Jim Carrey is such an interesting character, man. I can't.
Oh, he
tell
really is,
sometimes,
man.
Like,
Oh.
Don't get Jimmy started on Jim Carrey, man. I'm serious.
Listen, Nate, I will come back over to Reality Czars. Me and you can have a whole episode on Jim Carrey if you want to get started on some
Let's
Jim
do it,
Carrey,
man.
bro. Like
We could do that. I'll join you for that.
like I get hooked up on this. It's not the best share, but we'll of course have it linked as well. Let me do one more time because I'm terrible at doing one thing, and that is hitting that sound
23.
button.
23.
23. All right.
You'll have to hit the low volume button.
Chemical sexual alchemy. There's 33 vertebrae in your spine. There's 33 years in the life of Jesus.
Christ, yeah.
So this substance comes from your medulla, makes the trip down your spine to your sacrum, which is Christ coming down into human form.
Yes.
And if you don't squander that essence, that sexual essence, it ascends again and goes back up to heaven, which is your thing. It's also the story of Santa Claus. Why he comes down the chimney is because this juice or this whatever substance actually passes what's called the claustrum, which is where they got Santa Claus. So it goes down the chimney and back up the chimney. Do you know about
Norm
Yeah.
Macdonald explaining his reaction. What the fuck?
Yeah.
That's Norm Macdonald. Norm Macdonald.
True.
dude,
Yeah,
it's
that's
so
one of-
fucking weird for me because Jim Carrey is a smart motherfucker and he knows a lot. And for me, it's fucking wild that he's still in that Hollywood. Like they must fucking own him, dude.
I mean,
yeah.
They have some shit on him.
No. It's
He's
the
one of us,
opposite.
man.
He
It's the
owns
opposite.
them. He's the head, bro.
It's the
You
opposite.
think so, dude? I think it's
Um,
Kevin fucking Spacey. I think he really
No.
is. I think Kevin fucking Spacey actually is. What the hell was that guy's name? And
Kaiser Soze.
Yeah, he's fucking Kaiser Soze.
Yep.
He
No, it's
actually
not
is.
Kevin Spacey. No, I don't want it to be Kevin Spacey. Okay, I'm gonna block that out.
He is the House of Cards. He is the
Yes.
fucking
You know,
goddamn leader, man.
how many
If
people
it was-
have died associated with Kevin Spacey now? 7?
A few.
Dude, a fucking ton. And you see him like
Oh, I
sitting
bet
on
he
like
is.
the queen's porch of her cabin, and then there's those pictures of him and Ghislaine sitting on the queen's fucking throne and shit. Like,
Yeah.
who has that kind of power? You know what I mean? Kevin goddamn Spacey.
Yeah.
Because at the time, there was an explanation I heard about it. At the time, he was turning around a very famous theater that was like falling apart in relationship to its PR, in relation to its performance and everything. And he was turning around this very famous theater in England. So he was on the Queen's good side because of all that good work. And at the same time, he was molesting people. So, you know,
They love
good
that
work.
shit.
The Lord's work.
Yeah,
The
those
powers that
reptiles
be.
love that shit.
Whoever is in charge is hiding in plain sight, like in a position like Jim Carrey. I mean, look at Tom Cruise or Jim Carrey, Kevin
Hanks.
Spacey. Somebody, fuck that guy. If there's ever going to be somebody that is like at the top, they're going to be hiding in plain sight. You know, I don't think he would be like at the top, but he'd be like a lieutenant or something.
George Clooney.
Now, fuck
Yeah.
that guy
George
too.
Clooney, god damn. That
If
dude
there-
has power. He basically owns Sudan.
He does.
It's fucking wild, dude.
Really?
Look
Does
into
he have a
that,
lot of connections to businesses and things in Sudan now?
dude.
After
He,
everything?
he owns Sudan.
Does he really have a lot of assets in
Uh-huh.
Sudan?
Oh yes, he's like
Yeah.
a big 60%, 40%, something like that.
What do you mean? Could you
that true?
elaborate on this insanity? Okay.
Yes, I look this shit up, dude. I'm not kidding. This might be something to look up.
I mean, I know George Clooney is very well connected to the intelligence community, especially because you can see in the funding of his movies, they're all like most of them all get State Department level.
He's a mouthpiece. He's a mouthpiece for the State Department. All the three-letter agencies, he'd be a mouthpiece. Look at all his movies he's done.
Wait
the
until the
Peacemaker.
end of the credits. Usually they mention the U.S. government is in somehow sponsoring it.
The Peacemaker, Syriana. There was those just to name a couple, but most of his movies that he did in that time frame.
Yeah, good movie.
Oh yeah, the nuclear bomb one. Was that Peacemaker?
The Peacemaker. That was actually pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
No,
and look at the one he made with Three Kings about stealing Saddam's gold.
Yeah, no, they do a great job. I mean, the government is excellent at making propaganda.
They are. Yeah, they are.
we are
Santa Claus.
We're so good. We even fool our own people in government. Or
wasn't there another group of people that were? There's another group of people that were good at making propaganda to fool their own people. I just can't remember that group of people's names at the time.
Every government in existence. But I know.
Sort of. But I was aiming.
Were you going Kanye West on us? What were we doing?
Oh yes.
Oh my God.
Control.
So I've always had some. Jim Carrey kind of talks about some of these things that are tied to like the occult world of Christmas, I guess. And then we've kind of covered Kanye West, but I was going more like that one. We've kind of covered some of the stuff that are some of the weird historical type things about it. But then one of my favorite aspects of it. Joe Rogan actually kind of brought it up recently in something, and I totally got a clip to share with that one for you guys too. And this is actually a lot of stuff that I've actually looked into and something that I'm totally behind and like believing on the aspect of the way they talk about it. So check this out for you guys.
Amanita muscaria is the most fascinating one to me because that's the one that looks like Santa Claus. Well, they knew that there was a relationship between coniferous trees, and coniferous trees would grow these weird looking shiny red and white mushrooms under them. That's what coniferous trees is, pine trees. That's what we use for Christmas trees.
Yeah.
Those red and white packages, they are like the shiny packages underneath the Christmas tree. They are the color of Santa Claus.
Yeah.
They're common in Siberia. They're eaten constantly by caribou. Caribou are reindeer. Here's where it gets even crazier. In the times in Siberia where it would become extremely snowy, when the shaman would visit, the way they would get into the house is through the fucking chimney because the door would be snowed in. So they would climb in through the chimney. I mean, there's so many parallels to Santa Claus and to Christianity, to this one mushroom that they think was a massive part of shamanistic rituals. The Amanita muscaria is the most fast.
Have you seen it all over the old cards?
I've never heard of any of that. That was cool. That was really cool.
Have you guys never seen the old Christmas cards? Look up 1920s Christmas cards. Blow your mind.
What? There's mushrooms
everywhere. The mushrooms are everywhere in the 1920s, in the 1910s, like everywhere in all of the cards. And the thing is, the shamanistic element. I mean, Christianity, the Eucharist. It came from originally they were just giving them mushrooms every week. And if you really put your brain into it, how the hell were they able to sustain a 2-3 hour sermon? They were high.
Yeah, they were doing
every week.
Crazy.
They got a little dose, and they got that magic from God.
Now,
how else are you going to be that devout? I am literally drugging you every week. Of course, you're going to come back every week.
Now, don't leave out one of the best parts of that. Actually, trying to eat that mushroom just by itself, you're going to get yourself an upset tummy.
That's why
they would actually follow the deer that would eat these mushroom, the caribou that would eat these mushroom, and gather their piss snow cones and eat the piss snow cones because the bad parts were digested out and the hallucinogenics were left for them to ingest. So, like, they were totally eating deer piss to trip balls and celebrate Christmas. Like, that's, I mean, don't get me wrong. I might be all right with doing a mushroom trip for Christmas. You might pull me a little bit on trying to do the reindeer pee drinking, but like the thought of the tripping on Christmas is definitely up my aisle, right? I mean, you know,
if you have me in Siberia and we're fucking chasing reindeer and one pisses in the snow, I'm sucking that shit up.
Let's go.
Oh, reindeer snow cones, huh?
Reindeer snow cones. I mean, it makes you really think about different things, though, especially some of the stuff he pointed out there. That these are things that are kind of celebrated in a lot of the Christmas culture that come out of Siberia and kind of lands here. And I think I've seen a lot of different things pulled from different places, whether it be Roman, Siberia, even some of the other holidays themselves, where there are in this time of year that there are just little bits and pieces pulled into. And in a sense, they kind of capitalized on one that they could make common with everybody else around here, I guess, without realizing that, you know, they just kind of created their own, where we've all, in a sense, started creating our own. If you kind of listen to the things we've been talking about, we all do it a little bit different, but we totally host that traditional idea of family and feasting and camaraderie and stuff like that. Like that I can say we can at least find across the board. Seems to be regardless of who I talk to when it comes to this time of year.
Yeah. But some of those religions, they were out there cutting goat necks. Was like, we're gonna make sacrifices to they would cut the goat necks and put them on the doors too for Krampus. For back in the day.
Krampus is one of my favorites.
Yeah, I want to talk Krampus.
I was hoping we would get to Krampus, and I know Bandit was hoping we would get there too. If you're not familiar with Krampus, Krampus was kind of the opposite of Santa in Germany, and he kind of shows up. Go ahead, Bandit. I know you like talking about him. Go ahead.
No.
I'm pulling things up.
I don't have anything pulled up.
I'm pulling up.
I'm not going straight off my
Dwight
off yours. I like
memory.
Krampus, though, like just if without trying to go straight off memory. Oops, somebody. Oh yeah. I'm gonna hit Wikipedia. You guys know I like to jump there first, but Krampus was a horned anthropomorphic figure from Eastern Alpine folklore in Europe, and that's mostly Germany. And to give you the slow down run about it is that he would show up to misbehave children, and instead of them getting the stuff that they got from Saint Nick, like the oranges and dried fruit and chocolate and stuff like that, Krampus would. Originally, he like stole them in their bag and beat them with birch rods, and like it wasn't just a punishment; it was Krampus is coming to steal you. Like I will say that's something that's changed a little bit throughout the years, but like a lot of people are against it because they're like, oh, it scares kids, and I've always
my German friend said that it was ridiculous.
It is.
Should have never done it. That it's absurd. That there's no value to it.
You have like so many things, like so many things that we associate with Christmas, like what they portray as the Christian holiday Christmas. So many things have their origins in not so nice things.
Yes.
There's a whole, Christmas caroling, kissing under the mistletoe, the gift delivering by mythical beings. You've got decking the halls. You've got hanging ornament. There's so many.
The history of mistletoes. Can you go into that? That's fascinating.
The things that grow up at the top.
Is not what you think.
No. Like I know they're a pain in the ass to get. They grow at the top of these trees down here all over the south. So
I know nothing about the history of mistletoe.
It's not
somebody enlightened me.
It's weird. I just need to find the.
They conducted fertility.
So mistletoe is
fertility rictuals. They used to conduct fertility rituals under mistletoe.
It was also called the witch's broom.
I didn't even fucking know that. It's a little parasitic thing that grows on trees.
Okay. All right. Not only is the thing that Bandit's talking about over there, but the witch's broom thing about it is people would use it. People would use it to get high, in a sense, at one point in time.
Psychedelic.
People use everything to get high.
Yeah, if it's something,
at some point,
if humans can find a way to get high with it, they're gonna get high with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like nutmeg. Nutmeg. You can get high on nutmeg.
Yeah, but I heard it's awful.
Yeah,
it's not.
It
fun. It's not fun. It's not fun. I don't recommend.
I've never done it. I'm never going to do it.
I'm never going to. Yeah.
No.
Wait, hold up.
I've never been that desperate to escape reality.
Yes, you can get high on nutmeg.
Hold on, let me put a line of nutmeg out. Hold on.
You can get high off cocoa.
Yes.
You can get high of pure cocoa, and people snort it.
No.
Yeah, seriously. People snort cocoa because they couldn't snort coke. So there's a documentary. They're all snorting cocoa, and they're partying and having fun, and they're all snorting cocoa because it's legal.
There is a thing about that, right? That was like a Christian thing to do for a while. There was like Christian, it was like Christian raving. Mm-hmm. So it was like, we can't do drugs because Jesus doesn't like that. So I think they were getting high off of pure cocoa. Yeah, cacao or whatever.
Cacao.
Yeah, and they were getting all fucked up. Well, I mean, kind of. They were like dancing to worship music.
Yeah,
all fucked up on cacao.
Just look that up on YouTube, Jim. I'm sure you're gonna find it. People snorting cacao. Like that'll be on YouTube because it's PG.
I need a bump of that Hershey's. You got it, baby?
Dude.
Oh, dude. Man, our ancestors, man, they had to figure out
our ancestors. You mean last week?
Snorting raw cocoa. Wow. There's a whole article for it.
It's a Christmas time. If you can't ride the slopes, at least ride the mountain.
The mountain of getting high on cocoa.
The somewhat safe way to get high. Somewhat safe way to get high.
There was a whole movement of like young Christians that were getting high off cacao.
Hey, look!
Look at the device. It like shoots it up your nose.
What?
Yeah,
that's all. At least it was all organic.
Look. He's like gonna throw
at least it was organic.
Imagine going to Sprouts and they got cocoa.
Oh my god! Did you?
Oh man, I'm here to worship Jesus. Yeah.
Oh. Good God.
That happened in some church somewhere in the planet.
Yes.
Remember the monks recently that all got caught by using meth? Wow, they are very concentrated.
Man, yeah.
I'm not surprised. But seriously, when talking about anything having to do with religion, at some point in time, drugs were involved heavily.
All the time.
Every religion.
Every religion is written by people that were high as a kite. I tell it to my friends that they're badly devout. I'm like, dude, the people that wrote those books were high as hell.
High. You'd have to be. You'd have to be.
I think that I mean, what are you doing when you're fucking high as hell on DMT? Like, let's say that some of those people like actually met some of those like machine elves. What were those to them? You know, when we had nothing else to explain it, like those were angels. They were having mystical, holy experiences.
Have you heard the description of angels? They sound like you're tripping balls on.
Have you seen pictures of what people have drawn of what the old angels looked like?
Beautiful.
Wheels within wheels
with eyes
all over. Yeah,
do not be afraid.
You would have to be high to picture something like that.
Yeah, the particular burning bush had a lot of DMT.
Yep.
Somebody was we're going on a trip.
To me, this totally looks like something that I seen when I did acid or something. So I can't disagree with that at all. Like,
Oh,
Yes.
Oh, that's a tame drawing.
that's
I know.
a very
I-
PG one.
I know that's a tame drawing. Like,
Yeah, the
We-
real ones, they look like there's one where the eye is in the middle of the chest
there it
and it
comes.
has a face with no eyes on it, and then
Mhm.
the eyes are on the wings as well. Ooh, yeah, that's about right.
That's about right.
And
Yeah.
the thing is, the experience of what DMT gives you, which is something your brain naturally produces, and it comes back into what Jim Carrey was saying about the brain. I mean, every night when you go to sleep, what they discovered when they were doing like a very complicated test, like to see like the liquids, so they were seeing like the brain goes through a maintenance system, and there's liquids that go like through your spinal cord up and down.
It's
So they
called
discovered that
brainwashing.
there's an active.
No,
like-
seriously, your brain takes a bath. This is what he's talking about. Your brain
Yeah.
takes a bath every night,
exactly,
and that's brainwashing.
but the real type, not the TV type.
Yeah.
Like we're the ones doing right now to you, the audience listening to us.
FBI, open up.
Yeah.
Well, but it's amazing to think that a lot of these celebrations and a lot of these religions and stuff like that, all very well might come from these people doing shamanistic rituals and doing, whether it be peyote, whether it be DMT, whether it be mushrooms or whatever it was that they found. And I've always been fascinated by that one, like Joe Rogan was talking about that stuff going up there in Siberia, because it does have so many just weird ties back to the form of Christmas we kind of celebrate. When you look up pictures for that kind of stuff, there's shaman dudes were in like red hooded cloaks, and they were old guys, so they'd have like the long beard and stuff like that. So and that there's always that aspect of that's kind of the same thing when it comes to like the Saint Nick things. The way Saint Nick was always portrayed, he was always portrayed kind of in the red hood and with the beard and stuff like that, like the hat and stuff like that came later with a lot of the commercialization and whatnot. And back in the day, they were doing things like the candy and the chocolate, or the birch rods and coal, where nowadays I think it's out of hand. I mean,
It is. People
Who-
out here
yeah.
wasting the whole check. 37 checks to buy, like Bandit said earlier, their light bill is 1 month and a day. They got their whole neighborhood lit up.
Well,
Playing
it's not even really a paycheck now because of inflation. These people are going in credit card. Well, that's actually been, I mean, they have before. I mean, people are actually like the credit card debt that you see on the holidays or especially Christmas is like, it's insane.
But it's gone
people
down. You know that? This is the first year in a very long time that it's gone down, and it's because 70% of households have a difficulty just paying for food.
Yeah.
So we're
Yes.
about to enter the largest economic collapse, and a lot of people are
Recession.
questioning
It's a recession.
it's going to be worse than a recession. It's going to
We know this.
We know what's coming.
We know
what's
this.
coming. We 50 trillion in debt. They ain't go. We need Santa Claus to deliver more money.
Oh, we deliver it. Cluster bombs, tomahawk
freedom.
missiles,
Freedom.
It's about to be the Patriot missile system to
the
Ukraine
Patriot
now.
missile system.
Yeah, dude. Jesus
Iron
Christ. It's
Dome.
135 million per missile or something like that.
It's
It's a lot of money,
ridiculous.
though.
Merry
Yeah.
Christmas to someone, right? I mean,
Yeah. Merry Christmas to Zelensky.
Maybe Zelensky got that throat game, dude. He just threw it on JBiz and just. he
I
cleaned
just
him out,
watched.
dude.
We
Cleaned the
just
pipes.
watched the speech.
Yeah. It
he
was
sadly literally said nothing, but thank you for all the money, and Russia will not give up.
Russia won't give up.
Yeah, instead of
I mean,
we're
at this
searching
point,
for a
I'm
peace.
rooting for Putin to fucking nuke him. Just take
Whoa.
fucking Ukraine out of
Did
there.
you just create a bumper sticker that I need to get rooting for Putin? That's it. Hold on, man. Hold on. This is going on
It's
a bumper
on a
sticker. I
t-shirt
swear
now.
to
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
Rooting for Putin. Come on down.
Rooting. Yep.
Oh God, no.
But it is
Yeah, dude.
outrageous.
Don't.
It should be
This is
available
my
by
IP.
next Christmas.
This is my IP. I came up with it.
I'll put you in for it, man. I'll hook you up. But I mean, seriously though, this
Where do
is
you guys support that? I mean, okay, I understand it. The war machine's stupid, but let's not support the lunatic
I don't
that started
actually
it.
support him, but I don't care if he nukes Ukraine.
Dude,
Yes,
there's
I-
lots
It's
of
not
I
our
do.
business, man. It's
How
none of
are
our business.
how are our rich elites going to diddle kids if we don't have Ukraine for them to go over there and go and fuck a bunch of kids?
They're not
Where are
in
they gonna- where
Ukraine
are they gonna
doing it.
launder
They're
their
somewhere
money?
else doing. They're
Where are they
somewhere
going
else
to launder
doing
their
it.
money without Ukraine?
Yeah.
They need a washateria to wash all that dirty money. So Ukraine looking
they-
like the
you know,
washateria.
Ukraine has been decimated. Like what? It's basically, I don't know. After the two Chechen wars, it's basically Chechnya 3.0 right now. How bad Ukraine has been. I mean, the day he left to fly over here, air raid sirens throughout the entire country went off.
Dang.
Just in time.
Just in time. Oh,
You
okay.
know, I can't like.
The only bad part about that speech was the comparison to Churchill in 1941 and how they were saying that Pelosi's dad was there and Pelosi was 1 year old. That narrative is scary because if they're
Yes.
pushing the idea that this is a comparable to World War II and to Churchill,
Yep.
that's
Yeah.
what's fucking terrible.
And first
Yeah.
off, they got her age wrong. She was around since the dinosaurs. They had it all wrong. Her whole birth certificate's on a scroll.
You know, it's just the blind support for something like that that's the frustrating part. It's not
Well,
so
if you
much
voted for
like
a Democrat, you voted for the war in Ukraine. Congratulations.
you can't even put it to one side.
If you
now.
voted, you voted.
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
war in Ukraine.
It's a two-sided thing now because the Republicans have that fucking war hawk, Dan Crenshaw, who's rooting
Oh, they
for that
love that
fucking
shit.
war.
Oh, God.
They love
that guy
that
turned
shit.
into such a turd.
He gives such a bad name to
he's
the
like
pirates.
a,
They try to
goddamn
he's like a miniature
He's
John
a turd in a
McCain.
fucking yeah.
they try to
You know,
they try to make pirate jokes with him, and that he makes pirates look bad. Somebody needs to poke
If-
that other eye out.
If ever we could hope that John McCain's brain tumor would come back, it would be, to visit Dan Crenshaw.
Anybody rooting for war is
A terrible, terrible person. Even though, when you think about it, I mean, war is the natural state of life.
evolving. It doesn't matter. We are evolving and we can work
No, we're
shit
not.
out. It is of the
No, we're not.
Neanderthal.
It always
We're not
happens
fucking
though.
evolving. Look at us.
It will always happen though. War is a natural thing. It
won't
will always be there.
It won't.
Always.
There's still people that believe in QAnon, Luis. We're not evolving.
There are still people fighting
That's a hell of an
conflicts
argument.
with bows and arrows and machetes. It is
Yeah.
always going to be around.
Okay,
It
okay,
is.
okay.
Yeah.
People everywhere on the planet fight with machetes. Like, come on. Like in Dominican Republic, they literally do fights to the death with machetes.
Yes, I know this. I know they fight with machetes. I'm saying
To the death.
certain groups of people are evolving, but there will always be conflict on this planet. What I'm trying to get is
but not full-blown wars at the scale we're getting into is what I'm talking about. Yes, of course, conflicts.
Why do you think that, Luis? We have since forever. Why would it change?
Because we
We still are.
We
it will just be
progressively gotten
wars
better.
will always
We just
be
have
here. They will
robots
just be
do it for
fought
us
with
now.
different methods.
So-
They'll just be
it's
fought
like-
with different weapons.
It's
Now-
like, it seems like we're not at war anymore, but
I think
we just have drones doing
I think
it for
this is
us.
a great segue, actually, into an interesting Christmas celebration that is celebrated
Nice save,
down.
Jimmy.
That
Nice
is celebrated down in Peru. It's where
I love that. Please show videos of
the,
that.
it's
It's
the
so
one
good.
where they all get together and literally beat the
Punch
shit
it
out
out.
of each other. Like
What?
Yes.
That one time Vice
I
made a
thought we
good
were evolving.
documentary. Yeah, please show clips
Don't
of that
politicians
fight
get involved in this? Politicians get involved in this too in Peru, don't they?
This is it's like a
probably
it's
Free
like
for
a
all.
free for all for people. I cannot pronounce it. I'm gonna pull it up because I'm not good at
I'll see what it is. Let me
pronunciations.
see if I can pronounce it.
This is the name right here.
Takanakuy Festival. Takanakuy.
And yeah, I mean they show up from all over Peru to
Takanakuy.
duke it out.
Oh,
I
yes.
mean, just
So
Oh,
you
yeah.
air your grievances that
you air
day.
your grievances that day, and people just everywhere just get down and get with it. And it's a giant festival celebration, and you air your grievances, you have a good time, and everybody
and they stop
kind
you
of
from fighting, from killing.
Look
each
at
other.
those little potato beaners, dude. They're going hard. I love
right.
it.
Yeah, no, I think it's amazing. Like, it's a different kind of thing. We kind of making the suggestion of like evolving
Come on, man.
on a different route. Like these people, I dig this. Think about this. It's kind of like a purge without actually killing people.
What?
You're like, hey John, bro, I had enough of your shit this year. You wait till Christmas and we get to have our fucking throwdown, bro. Like we gonna just get it out of the way. You know what I'm saying? Like
Everybody should watch that Vice doc on it because it showcases partially part of that element. That whole I have a grudge. Like different people having grudges, like how it all pans out. It's really interesting and fascinating.
It is.
And it's expanded. Like more people now go there than before, so it's gotten bigger.
Imagine holding your beef the entire year for a day, and then you hit him with a Street Fighter upper. All right, man, I love you, guy. All right, thanks. Just go about your day.
That's it.
That's smart.
That's the thing, though. I mean, they'll air their grievances, they'll beat the shit out of each other, and then the very next day they'll buy each other a drink or invite the other person over for dinner or something. It's like
with their bloody mouth.
Yeah, you get it out of your system, and it's done. It's like it's like the Purge, but PG-13.
A little bit.
No?
Yeah.
If we allowed that nationwide, by the way, in the United States, you are legally allowed to fight someone if it's sanctioned.
Really?
It's like cool.
Yes, in most states, I believe it's a very simple process, but you can sanction a fight with someone.
I do think there was a guy in Tennessee, or was it here? Maybe Kentucky.
You can sanction fights.
He demanded a trial by combat.
What?
That's not real.
I mean,
he likely.
Of course, he was
tried.
denied. I think it was divorce. It was a divorce. It was divorce court, and he demanded a trial by combat. I mean,
you gonna take half? I'm gonna take half your arm.
Yeah. I mean,
down
how
here,
simpler. It would be simple. Things would be so simple
down here.
If it could be decided like that.
Down here in the
or
south,
a duel.
Down here with the
They're
south.
illegal in most of the states.
Yeah, I was about to say actually down here in the south with that, if you do the fighting in the street, and it's not with it.
I think you just need a cop in
and
some
it's
places,
and it's not with a family member because that's automatically domestic violence. You can fight it on out actually. Like there, and I also learned that in the state of Georgia, and not that I'm condoning this, but as long as that hand's open, you're not getting charges.
Really?
Oh, so in New York, I can slap you.
Yeah.
But I can't punch you.
Yep. Same in Georgia.
What? But I can legally slap you and I get no charges.
Yep. Same in Georgia. You can
even if there's a
open-handed all
recording
day.
of me slapping you. The problem is if I were Russian level slap, holy fuck, your face is done.
Man, that's your hate. Guten Tag.
But it was legal.
But I mean, there's all kinds of different, interesting, odd, weird things that go on for Christmases. Just all over the world. I made mention of a few things earlier and stuff like that. But here in 2020, I guess most people are familiar with all the presents and all the commercialization and stuff like that. And like me personally, I guess I know this is something that's probably been hammered in over and over again, but something that we kind of rounded back to a lot tonight is spending that time with family, man. Like to me, I think that's just the most important aspect of it, regardless of how your choosing your family. I'll be the first to tell you, I am somebody that understands blood doesn't always mean family, and I really think that people should find the ways to make time and do you don't have to go and buy a whole bunch of stuff for somebody. You don't have to make yourself broke to show somebody that you care. There's plenty of ways to do things, even if it's just sitting on the porch while they've been having a conversation or linking up with them and shooting some kind of podcast or something. Me and Bandit have talked about this on the side. Like, one thing I can definitely say about like these podcasts and stuff, man, you want to talk about therapeutic. Like, why would I spend thousands of dollars to go talk to some lady, tell me that I'm crazy, when I can just talk to you guys and we know I'm crazy, so it's okay. We can just talk about it. It's a lot.
We're on one. No worries.
It's not necessarily the journey; it's the friends you make along the way.
Right.
It really is, man.
It really is, because when you
really
die, you only take your memories, your knowledge, and your relationships. That's all you take with you.
Yeah, it's definitely it's the friends you make along the way, man. It's all the whole podcast. It's we all share a common. We all have something in common. It's just like we want to get the message out there, no matter what it is. We just want to get a message out there. If we can just reach one person, that's all.
It makes a difference. For every one person we wake up, we offset 85,000.
So I did have a list of like some interesting facts that I pulled a few things off of tonight, and I am going to share, of course, with this episode or whatever. But there's some interesting facts when it comes to Christmas here in America. Like, there's, of course, all the conflicting stories that we hear from everybody else, but as far as it being like an official thing that everything goes on the way that it does now, the first Christmas tree in place at the White House, there's an argument there. First says that it was Franklin Pierce in 1856, but others say it was Benjamin Harrison in 1889. And back then they were decorating things with like apples, nuts, and dates. And they didn't actually add electric Christmas tree stuff until like 1895. And it didn't even turn into like pine trees and stuff or come indoors until the 1900s. So it's evolved throughout the years. And when you start getting into the 20s here in America, I don't know about you guys, but when you're going back in a lot of this history backup stuff, that's when you start seeing a lot of weird commercialization start to beginning to like make a head in a lot of things in the 20s, whether it be from Christmas tree lighting ceremonies that Calvin Coolidge hosted to parades and stuff by Macy's and other things like that. Those actually started as smaller ideas in little small towns or through corporations and businesses as a way to make money, but they totally borrowed the ideas from cultures all over the world. And I'm not against having this family related holiday, regardless of if it's, again, like I said earlier, Christmas or Hanukkah or Festivus even. Like, I'm down for Festivus. I know that's the 23rd, if anybody even knows that reference, or maybe I'm showing my age, who knows. But
Festivus
like,
for the rest of us.
you know what I'm saying? And
That aluminum tree, though, it can't be beat.
That's right. You can't beat that. And there's just all kinds of things there that I think have been lost in translation and, lost, whether it be one side of the country to the other or even street to street. There's so many different cultures, even in little towns, that you don't even realize, just individual cultures out there that might celebrate things a little different, and I know it's always a controversial thing. For the past 10 years or so, I hear people arguing Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays or blah, 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 blah. And, I just always tell people, say what you say. It feels comfortable. Like, if you're truly going to get offended by somebody trying to tell you to have something nice, like, get off your fucking high horse for real. Like, I mean, like, I'm a Merry Christmas guy. That's what I say. I wear the hat to work and totally been wearing Christmas socks this whole time, but I don't celebrate the same Christmas, I guess, in the aspects of other people, but I just like the idea, I guess, the fun and the camaraderie and stuff, like I've made mention for quite a few times this evening, and I want to quit ranting. You know, I kind of want to turn the floor over to some of you other guys and hear your thoughts on Christmas. Voila-Me, this was your idea to begin with, so if you don't mind, I'd like to start with you.
So to me, Christmas, like you said, is mostly a family oriented, relaxing, getting to meet people. Even if you don't know them, you know, it's a camaraderie style holiday area. I don't actually believe in Christmas myself. You know, I'll say happy holidays to people, you know, happy holidays. I hope you have a good one, you know, but I don't care what you celebrate. But, you know, some of it is just like a man coming in your house to deliver presents. And I asked Santa for something one year and he didn't bring it. I was like, we got beef, Santa. I got you on the list. Let me catch you in these streets.
Right.
No, but overall though, like you said, it's mostly about camaraderie, family, relaxing, and decompressing, especially towards the end of the year. A lot of people have had a stressful year, and this time of the year gives you time to recoup, relax, and get ready for the New Year's that's coming usually. It's a wonderful time, like I said, but it has some dark history behind it too. But regardless, I'm glad I got to be on here with all of y'all at this time. And y'all, it's amazing to meet such amazing minds who know different things as well.
Love you, buddy.
Yeah, I love you.
Much
Voila-Me,
love.
man. That's why we keep you around over here, man. We definitely love having you. And over here, dude, you know, there's
It's the only reason we keep you around, dude.
no,
My
I mean
crazy folks.
it's
No, I got you. I got
it's
you.
good to
I'm just
have
joking.
it's good to have these guys that understand these different aspects. And then we had a guest the other night, me and Luis did the excuse me, Julia from the Cosmic Peach podcast. And she made a point. She pointed something out that I didn't really think about. And she was like, you know, there's not that many people with dark complected skin out here doing the conspiracy world. You know, it's something great myself too, because I can agree with that. Like it's always been kind of a nerdy white dude kind of aspect that you see a lot of the time, or a really old guy with big thick glasses and a balding head and, you know, yelling at the computer screen. But like, it's great to see the cultural differences all seeing the same fucking thing finally together. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
good God,
they bullshitting us.
they've been bullshitting us too fucking long, bro.
Do you know what brought us all together? The
Memes.
Memes.
And
Yeah, and the coof. You're right, man.
it was the Great Awakening by the Koof.
You are
It was a
right
big
about
one,
that
man.
for sure.
It allowed all of us to realize, well, fuck's sakes, this has now gone too far. If we don't start talking about it, we're all
Yeah.
screwed.
So,
Yeah.
John, I wanted to jump over to you because, you know, you've been a little quiet this evening, and I do appreciate you joining in on us with this one. And I wanted to ask you too. You know, I was kind of like, what does this time of year, I guess, really mean to you, or this holiday to you, or what? Do you like the camaraderie and the family time, or
Certainly.
do you live without it? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, Jimmy, do you want like an anecdotal personal Christmas story here, or do you want just like keep the good vibes going? Because I mean, I get the vibe you're trying to lay down.
And I want you to be truthful and honest. If you want to give us something hardcore, give it to us, bro.
Christmas to me is like the annual expectation. Like I would compare it to Western world's what we do to women in marriage, and how you just really we idolize this time of year. We look forward to it. And some people probably get their expectations met, and some people, like there was a string there where I lost my job 4 Christmases in a row. It was like, cursed, straight cursed. And it became something where for a couple of years I had to work at it. Like I'll do sober Christmas sometimes just to avoid having those feelings. And that's what I got to do. And that's my battle. That's my journey. But it's still family. Like I said, I mean, that's cliched as hell, but if that's the silver lining you can take from it, that's good. But I don't know. My stepdad hated Christmas and would freak out around that time of the year. And I think you look at Christmas as a measurement of how well you did at capitalism that year. And it's like, okay, How big's the present?
Jesus,
Right?
man.
That's valid. That
Yes,
I've
that
heard
is-
argument before. It's a measurement of how good.
How good you are at capitalism. And so
Okay.
the kids with the parents, they're the best. They get all the best toys, and they're the most popular for that next start of the school year. You know, I don't know. It's just always been a hit or miss thing with me. Having said that, it's just part of our annual gift to the capitalistic machine, and it clears our bank accounts out right before tax season. And I think it serves its purpose very well for that. And I know that's not very spiritual, but that is kind of how I see it.
No, I mean, and that's why I asked. You know, I mean, I understand that people have different viewpoints of it, and I can honestly relate a lot of what you're saying there, and understand where you're coming from with that. And that's why I kind of asked before you got into it about could you live with it or live without it, and I feel the same kind of way. Like if it, to be real, man, if it stopped tomorrow, or if I was never even raised on it, I don't think it would be that big of a deal. Like I'm a grown adult. I can buy the things that I want throughout the year when I have the money to buy them. It's no reason to go completely ape shit crazy. Yes, do I get some things for my kids? Sure, but that's one of those things that I can kind of push things off from earlier in the year when they're like, "Hey, I want this," and I don't have it, and I can be like, "Cool, let's put it on your Christmas list because I can give you something, you know, work up to building because that's kind of the thing that you're looking into, you're into this year or whatever, whether it be a video game here or there or something like that for my boy or more dolls for my daughter." But I'm definitely not the kind of guy that's about to go out there and break myself to make these things happen. Like that, I find absolutely ridiculous. There's no reason to go in debt to show people that you wanted capitalism this year. You know, like that. I dig that. And that in itself, I think, is kind of telling, man. I appreciate you being truthful with that. And
and I'll just
about the way you said that.
I'll say we've taken a cool, great concept. Like, take me back to the days where shaman were eating mushrooms and coming down my fucking chimney.
Fuck yeah, bro.
The doors
slurping reindeer piss.
That concept, I get a lot more spiritual nourishment out of that than what we've done is we've let our capitalistic democracy poison the cultural rituals with materialism, and that's it. And that's it.
Reindeers and mushrooms for everyone.
Yes. Bring back the shaman chimney mushrooms. That's how I'll close this. But thanks, guys. And I do good vibes to all y'all and all your families. I'm not trying to be the Grinch. That's how I see Christmas. You know?
No. I appreciate it, man. I really do appreciate you being honest with it. I think that was actually, I don't know. I think that was something that needed to be said. So I do appreciate you coming out here with that this evening. So I do want to jump over to Nate though, man. What are your thoughts on this time of year, man? Like how do you rock it?
I'm a hopeless optimist, dude. As far as like, I actually put out like a weird little mini episode with my wife, and we were talking about the Christmas season, because Christmas is a fucking complicated. It's a complicated thing for a lot of people, dude. Like, because there's so many obligations that you feel, and it's like you're forced to spend time with family that you don't necessarily even like or want to spend any time with. And so, like, for my wife, she sees holidays as stress. She fucking hates it, dude. She fucking hates holidays. For me, I fucking love it because, like, I don't know, maybe I'm a sociopath. I don't give a shit. Like, I just want to like drink eggnog with whiskey in it and sit on my ass and just like, and I have a great time. She like cares what her mom is thinking or like is like feeling or something. Like her mom's I love my mother-in-law. She is a nice lady, but she's also kind of a giant cunt.
Yeah.
And so she can be a cunt in the corner, and I don't fucking care. I don't care one fucking iota what she's feeling, thinking. Yeah, I'm just drinking my fucking eggnog with the whiskey in it. So I'm having a good time. But holidays, man, I try to think about like that. What was this whole like solstice before like the Catholic Church turned this into Christ Mass, right? Like this was this interesting like time when this is like we said, it was like the shortest day of the year. You're in the middle of this cold fucking season, and it's like you spent all summer and all like trying to like grow these fucking crops, and you had to find a way to like hold these crops. And so like they did fermentation, they did all these like different things so you could like have these things. And so like in the middle of winter, you were forced to share, like, so that's like this whole like giving experience in winter. Like as a community, you guys had like, I hope you still have some bread left. I still have some meat that I have buried in the ice. Like we had to come together as a community, and we had to share these things, and this is how we made it through winter. And so like winter was a shitty thing, but it brought people together, you know. And and in this new fucking world that we're in, like Uncle Johnny, what you were talking about, dude, like I get it. Like we're in this weird capitalist nightmare, this fucking over commercialized hellhole, and we don't get brought together anymore. Like we're so like, I'm an individualist, a hardcore individualist, but like at the same time, like we need to come together as a community, because like we have our heads so far up our own ass. I only care about my Christmas and what I'm getting for my fucking kids and my fucking house, and it's an ugly, weird fucking time, man. So I think this is a time that drink eggnog with whiskey, squeeze your fucking family members.
Yeah.
Even if your mother-in-law's a cunt, I'm gonna give her a kiss on the head and give her a squeeze. This is what
Then
we
a
got,
power
man.
slam.
Yeah. Give some fucking love. And another fun thing that you can do with your kids, and I made my son do this one year, you can have them pick a present that we are going to give to someone else.
Yep.
This isn't necessarily all about you. What can we do for this? Like, have you guys ever heard of DonorSee? DonorSee is this like whole micro philanthropy website where like you can pick someone in Uganda that needs a roof.
Yeah.
And you don't even have to pay for the whole thing. You can put $20 towards it. You know, so you have your child pick out like, hey, here's a kid that's my age and they live in some terrible fucking place and they need shoes to go to school. And you could like, and your $20 is like $100 over there. So they can get the fucking shoes, they can get their books. Like this can be a kind of a thing where you can show your kids this isn't just about getting gifts. This is about giving gifts. This is about like generosity. This is about like coming together as a community. That could be something neat.
That's good. That's really good.
Yeah, I love that. I love all that.
I love it.
Dude, no, yeah, that
Especially in showing kids
Yeah.
like we have a bit of privilege just as being part of the North American continent and part of
Even
the
being
empire.
poor here, you're
Yeah.
fucking
American
Yes.
poor is like
American
rich
poor
for
as
half
well,
the
as fuck.
no more than half the planet.
Yeah.
depends. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it.
I said
I mean,
more than
I
half
grew
the
up on
planet, not the
welfare,
entire-
Yeah.
half homeless, eating government cheese,
Yeah.
but I still had white bread to stick in my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I had spam.
Slice bread.
Sure.
Slice bread.
Yeah. Well, Luis, I gotta ask, man. Like, I'm gonna put you on the spot here. What does this time of year mean to you? You know, being
It's usually darkness, so not very positive. Mainly, it's all connected to my father was born December 25th, 1927, so that didn't help. That he died then on December 28th, 1989, and
How old was he when you were born, Luis?
he was in his 50s.
Okay.
When
1927 seems so long ago.
yes, he was older than my mom. But yeah, they were both adults, so it doesn't make any difference. But yeah, that and a bunch of other things I can't tell you in this recording are associated with Christmas, and it's just I sadly have extremely negative experiences on this time of the year, but I have met now a beautiful amount of human beings in this year that make the time a bit better. So I appreciate
Giving you a hug right now through Zoom.
that's right.
Yes.
Bro. That's
Right
right.
here.
It will be okay.
Cheers
Cheers to you, brother. Cheers to you.
Well, Bandit, I guess that leaves you on the spot. I want to hear what you got for it.
I'm kind of in that same boat as Luis. This will be my second Christmas without my father around. It's I kind of base everything around family. This time of year, I like to stretch it out as long as possible. I don't just focus on like the one day during the Christmas season. I will drag this out to like 2 weeks. I'll make it a whole two.
You're on all year.
Yeah. I like this time of year. That's what I said. I've got no problem with the cold. It brings up a whole new menu of food. I got a batch of mead that I'm fermenting right now that should be ready soon. It just brings up a whole new, time of the year. It's all about, and when it does come to that Christmas morning, it may not be like, we may not do the whole thing of associating Christmas and everything with Santa and everything. There is a special feeling to watching your kids open a few presents, even though they know that they came from mom and dad. There is a special thing to watching them get a few things that they, have wanted for the whole year. It really is. I think that's the what brings the most joy to me.
Fair. No, that.
You're here.
Yeah, I bet I find that great. And I'm indifferent. I think there's different ways to mix all these beliefs. I think there's different ways to intermeld all this stuff. I do think that we should have more of a. I'm always into the more tied back to nature kind of aspect of things anyway. And I would totally, and my body longs for it anyway, to take the winter months to actually do the whole hibernation idea and maybe do as much reindeer piss and DMT as I possibly could do through these months to reset and be ready for the next spring to, work in crops and work with animals and work with doing what it is that needs to be done to get ready for the next season. I say this a lot. I'm always for tying myself back as close to earth as I possibly could, because the rest of it's just a joke nowadays. So
season USA 2023 is going to be a good episode next year.
I hope so. And I've got positive outlooks for what's things to come. I try not to be a negative Nancy all the time, and I always believe that us as humans are totally going to make it. And
still voting for a season finale with a few aliens, at least something.
I'm tiptoeing into 2023. Okay.
Yeah. No. Fair.
First episode is the massive.
I'm running in there, dude. Dick out.
Wait, what's the first episode, John?
The massive.
According to Nate, it's going to be running in with your dick out.
What is John's your prediction? What?
So get your eggnog in, because there's about to be a massive egg shortage.
Oh God!
Not for me.
Yeah.
Not for me.
That's going to be episode 1 of season 2023. No,
it has nothing to do with the egg shortage. It's just the grocery. They're not paying. They're not paying for the eggs,
right?
Yeah, they're not paying for the eggs.
All those fucking chickens, man.
Yeah.
They're killing those goddamn chickens.
What did they say? That if only a few people all had a few collectives of people had chickens, the egg industry would collapse.
I
got chickens in my backyard.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got chickens in my backyard, which reminds me, I got to get them ready for that cold front coming in tomorrow.
We could crumble them. I'm telling you guys, if we all got together and just got 2 or 3 chickens each.
Yeah. If we all decided to quit paying taxes, the IRS would crumble too.
I love it.
Yes.
I like that idea.
You kind of need 300 million people to do that.
I say we could do 5%.
5%. If 5% just said, "Fuck you, suck my dick."
No. 5% took their money out of their banks.
Yeah, that's the
that too.
Yeah.
I mean, let's do it. Like, I'm game for all of that. So, well, I do want to give you guys a chance to plug where you guys can find everybody, and I'm gonna go backwards this time. And Nate, where can everybody get back to find everything that goes on with you?
Oh man, our show is called the Reality Czars. We have a lot of fun, man. We talk about all kinds of crazy shit. Sometimes it's serious, sometimes it's not.
Sometimes you get banned.
Yeah, there we go.
Sorry.
Sometimes, yeah, we're talking cryptids, we're talking politics, we're talking aliens. This year we put out a Bigfoot documentary. We are going to be putting out an alien documentary or a ghost documentary. I think we're going to start filming in January or February. I think, man, I got to talk to my partner, but I've got a bunch of listeners out in the Portland area, and they all want to go to the Shanghai tunnels down here in Portland.
Dude,
So I think we're going to go there.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, my buddy, he's grown shrooms, so I think we're going to fucking take some shrooms. My other buddy, I think, might be bringing a Ouija board. We might be talking to some ghosts in those Shanghai tunnels. I don't know. Anyways, look out for that shit. We're going to have some fun. And,
I actually was recently talking to your buddy over there with Anomaly Hunter that was telling me
Ben's
about this
great,
stuff.
man.
So I'm looking forward to it, man.
Ben's fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah,
He's
dude.
brilliant. So yeah, I mean, come check out our show. We're on Rockfin. Fuck YouTube, and I mean, we are on YouTube, but go to Rockfin, and yeah, check us out, man. We just have fun, and I listen. I read every fucking email that gets sent to me. I love hearing feedback. I love getting the love. Come check us out. realityzars@gmail.com. Come hit us up.
That's right. Yeah, and you guys know that I will have the links to get back to Nate, of course. Follow. I'm gonna pop. Actually, follow me. I'm gonna skip you and pop back to John real quick. John, what you got going on?
I'm definitely gonna have to go check out Reality Czar, but you guys can check me out on TikTok and Instagram. News updates for real. That's my YouTube channel, Jim Bob. I'm actually locked out of that right now.
Are you really?
I cannot get into my Google. I cannot get into my Google account. There is no way to get past the second step verification until I get my phone number back. Anyways, long fucking story.
Oh my God.
Go to my TikTok. If you like reading, if you like dystopian, satirical social commentary, check out my novel, Confessions of a Middle-Aged White Man. You might enjoy that. And that's it for tonight, guys. Thanks for letting me chat.
Yeah, man. No, I appreciate you
Good to
coming
meet you,
on.
brother.
You know, and I'll, of course, when we finish getting through the rest of these holidays and stuff, I look forward to having you on in the first of the year. We can chat about some of the eggs and maybe some of the other stuff you've been chatting about, man. I always love having a conversation with you, man. You brighten my day, even though you got sometimes you get a little grumpy over there. But I think that's just the Canadian way, ain't it?
It's pessimism with a smile, Jim Bob.
I love it, bro. I love it. No, Voila-Me. Where can everybody find you, buddy?
Oh, you can find me on TikTok, Voila-Me, and Instagram. This is my TikTok. You click my link tree right there, and you can find all my other links. This is my Instagram.
Yeah.
You can find all my merch. You can find my detoxes, the email if you want to book a one-on-one. But I speak on conspiracies, a lot of good information that I have facts, patents for things. You'll be stuck on my content for a hot minute.
I love talking to you, Voila-Me. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
You're
Oh,
amazing,
You got some
brother.
good stuff too.
Yeah,
You got some good stuff too, man. Come down.
And
Yeah,
you know, Voila may be throwing up some of that good like comedy stuff too, man. If you guys follow him over there on Instagram, he likes to throw some stuff up to make you laugh, and that's the kind of stuff I love too, man. He's just always a reason to just get a laugh on for the day. That's the best thing you can do.
Oh yeah, especially when you learn all this stuff, you gotta laugh because it's a big ass joke.
Right? Welcome to Clown World, everybody.
You gotta laugh so you don't cry, man.
Well, and you know, Luis, you got anything you want to leave out for our listeners out there for the evening?
Get Coquito. It's better than eggnog.
Oh,
Coquito?
okay.
Look
Okay.
into it. It expires like eggnog, but it's rum based. It's fun. Try it.
Like rum chata?
Better.
Okay.
Oh, what?
Look up the
Really?
recipes. You
I
can
just
make
did. I
it.
just pulled it up. Like, you know what? And I'm
All
gonna
right.
be nice. I'm gonna share this one with the episode because
You
Right.
should.
So Coquito
Yeah,
with
send
a
it to
line
me.
of cocoa.
Oh God.
Let's go.
little coconut,
I
the
want the
traditional
best
Christmas drink in Puerto Rico.
The best one I tried was an illegal one. So pitorro is just the moonshine version, and it was incredible. But yeah, it was like 70% alcohol.
Oh,
But it was like because some people like the equivalent. Like they
Rican
moonshine in Puerto
eggnog.
Rico too. Just rum. It's
Coquito.
possible to do it too.
All right, Puerto Rican eggnog. I will check that out because I'm not an eggnog fan, but if you got something that's better
Oh, I
than that,
love
I'll go for
eggnog.
it.
It's
Man.
way better than eggnog.
I like it.
I do love eggnog.
I'll just take the
Well,
whiskey.
once you try this, you'll be like, "What the heck?"
All right.
I've been doing with your
Bandit,
mind.
you got anything good for me for tonight? Leaving
No,
everybody off for this Christmas episode?
No, I really do. I really hope we all make it into 2023. You know, fingers crossed for family in Illinois. Come
Ooh,
January
next year.
1st, coming January 1st of 2023 for anybody in Illinois, especially Chicago.
So, anybody looking into the real estate market in Illinois, you're going to see a sudden drop in pricing very soon.
Yes,
What
you're
the
gonna
fuck's
see
happening in Illinois? What am I missing? What happened?
Purge, bro. The purge is coming.
the purge is
Literally.
starting in
The
Illinois.
sheriff
Literally,
was warning about the purge, basically.
Yep.
The
Literally.
sheriff.
Cook County Sheriff is warning anybody living in Chicago starting
January 1st.
Wow.
January 1st.
Nate,
Why?
Your
Why? What's happening? Why?
You can commit.
what's it called? The T something bill? Was it T safe bill or something?
Safety.
Yeah, and
Safety.
safety bill.
bill.
Am I the only one that just witnessed the glitch in the Matrix? With
Yeah, it
I saw
happened to
that
you
shit.
twice, Nate. What is that glitch? It's the funnest, most coolest glitch I've ever seen. It's
Yes.
like this.
Yeah,
And then the top bar just flips out, and it happened to you
It'll be
twice.
like-
You're gonna see it in the recording. It's really freaky. It's really cool.
it's like Max Headroom from the
yeah,
80s.
exactly what it is.
Right?
That's
It
horrendous.
happened before. I was
I think
like,
it
Nate, are you
fits.
okay? Because he was like this.
Yeah.
I think it fits well. No, for sure. Well, I got to say, I appreciate you guys joining me for this Christmas
Yeah.
episode and talking all this weird Christmas nonsense. Of course, you guys out there watching know that I'll have all the links to get
Oh,
back
man.
to the fun stuff that we had going on. And, get a good laugh at Nate and his super awesome.
That's the best glitch I've ever
It is.
seen.
That's awesome.
That is, I'm recording this. This can't.
Yeah.
It's not a glitch. I'm coming.
and you guys know, you guys always know I like to leave
This
it with
is good,
with a
man.
good
All right.
pirate joke, so.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
I appreciate everybody out here that's joined us for this Christmas day, and whatever you're celebrating or however you're doing. And I appreciate you guys checking out this special edition episode. So, what did the pirate Santa Claus say?
What?
Row ho row. You guys have a good night. Thank you.